Hi, eighth graders. It's Miss Dodd. I hope everyone had a wonderful, relaxing weekend. Today in the Independent Station, we are going to talk about time zones a little bit. And this builds off of what we started last week with latitude and longitude, because time zones are based off of lines of longitude. Okay, so turn to the section of your packet that says Social Studies 8th grade Independent Station. The objective for today's lesson is to be able to calculate time using time zones. And with that, let's get started with our guided notes. So, lines of longitude help establish time zones for the entire world. This way of calculating time helps travelers know what time it is wherever they're traveling. This concept is called standard time, because time is standardized or brought under one system all over the world. If there were no time zones, no one would be able to tell each other's time without very complicated calculations. Time zones make telling time easy. So it used to be that everybody would just set their local clocks to whenever the sun was directly overhead. They would call that noon. But the problem was in the 19th century that people started to travel a lot by train, and they would jump from one place to another, and they'd have to keep setting their watches and fiddling with their watches, and they never knew what time it was. So they created a very standardized time, or this standard time that we're talking about right here, in order to make it really easy for travelers to know exactly what time it is wherever they are. So in order to calculate time, it's super easy. All you need to remember is east, increase, and west, get less. So if you're going east, you're adding hours. And if you're going west, you're subtracting hours, or you're getting less. So east increase, west get less. This is a picture of the 4 time zones in the United States. So we have Pacific on the west coast here, Mountain, Central, and then the Eastern time zone right here. Notice that New Orleans is in Central time. So the names of the time zones, you can go ahead and fill those in. Pacific, Mountain, Central, and Eastern. Remember, these are just the names of the time zones in the United States. There are 24 lines of longitude, so there are 24 time zones in the world, and they all have different names. But these are the 4 that we have in the United States. New Orleans is in the Central time zone. Okay, so let's try and calculate. If it's 9 o'clock at night or 9 p.m. in California, what time is it in Connecticut? So remember, east increase. So let's go back up to our map. We have California here, and Connecticut's all the way over here in the Eastern time zone. So if it's 9 o'clock at night here, we just need to add 1 hour every time that we jump into the next time zone. So California would be 9 p.m. Now we're moving east, so we need to increase. Mountain time is 10 p.m. Central time is 11 p.m. And in Eastern time zone, where Connecticut is, it is midnight. So 12 a.m. or midnight. Remember, it crosses over into a.m. So let's go to the next question. It's a 5-hour flight from California to Connecticut. If my flight in California takes off at 9 p.m., what time is it in Connecticut when I arrive? So that sounds kind of complicated, but it's actually super easy. First, what we'll do is we'll calculate what time it is in California when we land in Connecticut. So what you need to do is it's 9 p.m. here in California, and then we know it's a 5-hour flight plus 5 hours. So 9 p.m. plus 5 hours is 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., which is 5. So it's 2 a.m. But then that's what time, it's 2 a.m. in California when you arrive in Connecticut. So now you need to add the 1, 2, 3 hours that were added when you went to Connecticut, because you're crossing 3 time zones. So plus 3 hours equals 5 a.m. Now that seemed really complicated. We're going to practice it one more time in the next one. So it's 11 o'clock at night in Louisiana. What time is it in Texas? Let's go back up to our map. So it's 11 o'clock at night in Louisiana. What time is it in Texas? 11 o'clock. We didn't actually move time zones. 11 o'clock p.m. It's a 2-hour flight from Louisiana to Western Texas. If my flight in Louisiana takes off at 11 p.m., what time is it when I arrive in Texas? So it's 11 p.m. plus 2 hours equals, and then just ignore all of that because we're still in the same time zone, 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. or midnight, 1 a.m. Cool. So let's practice again. The time in Texas is 8 a.m. And let's see what time it is in Oregon. So if it's 8 a.m. in Texas, what time is it in Oregon? Remember, when you go west, you get less. So it would be 8 a.m. here, 7 a.m. here, 6 a.m. here. So it's 6 a.m. in Oregon. And the time in Maine, it's 4 p.m. What time is it in California? Maine is all the way over here in the Eastern time zone. California is here. So if, I forgot what I said. Oh, it's 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. here, 3 p.m., 2 p.m., it's 1 p.m. in California. So a person in Maine that calls their friend in California, if the Maine person is calling at 4 p.m., their friend in California picks up the phone and it is 1 p.m. for them. So 1 p.m. All right, let's practice a couple problems together and then you can finish out the rest. It's 9 o'clock in New York. What time is it in Louisiana? Let's go ahead and say, we didn't say specifier, so 9 p.m. in New York. What time is it in Louisiana? Back up to our map. We're only moving 1 time zone west, so we only need to get less 1 hour. So 9 p.m. goes to 8 p.m. 8. So the answer is C. If you want to, oh, the video's running out. Try and finish the rest yourself.